What's up, everybody? I'm Dean Karadimas from the show Dean of All Trades. Today on MPN Reviews, we'll be going over this Segway Fugleman UT10X. Now, I have my buddy Brandon here. What's up, Brandon?
How you doing, Dean?
Good, man. I'm so happy you're here with us today. We're going to talk about this Segway a little bit. Now, this Fugleman came out in the market, and it's their flagship UTV. And Brandon wants to tell us something about the name that he found out.
Yeah, the name I found unique. It's German for leader of the pack. So hopefully when we get out there, we'll notice the same thing.
Absolutely. It seems like they took a real big leap into the market, especially with this beautiful looking machine.
A nice option about the Fugleman is that it has a tailgate very similar to a pickup truck. It just drops down just like that. Oftentimes you're using different items in your hand at the same time, and you need to just grab it with one hand to put it down. In the past, I've used other older style UTVs that have pins on each side, so you have to reach out each side. It's a little bit more difficult when you're holding things. Typically, you're hauling items to put inside the bed, which is a nice feature. Another thing that's great about it too is this holds up to 200 pounds.
Supposedly it holds up to 200 pounds. So let's see.
Pretty nice.
I mean, didn't break. Now, also the bed capacity states that it's around 1,000 pounds. The towing capacity says 2,500 pounds. So although we don't have a trailer today, the numbers seem pretty accurate when you look at how stout the rear end and the suspension are on this Fugleman. So one of the things with this Fugleman, as you're going to be using it as a sport utility vehicle, when you're out on your property, let's say you have feed or you have anything else loaded in the bed, you can dump it out really quickly. These shocks are super heavy duty. The moment that you hit it, no matter if you have bricks or anything heavy in the bed, it's gonna come right out. Yep. And that's proof by Mr. Big Muscles Brandon. Go ahead and push down on this. You can see that those shocks really have some resistance, so once you get some things in the bed, it'll do really well getting them out. In the bed, there are 4 D-rings that you can use for tie downs or ratchet straps. And Brandon, tell us a little bit about this texture inside of the bed.
Yeah, I mean, it's excellent. It actually has a bit of a slide to it, so you're able to slide things in and out, which is great. Some other ones, like a typical truck tailgate, might stick a little bit. This, a lot of times you're trying to dump things in and out, especially with the lift here. So
in addition, when you look at this matte knurled, matte textured finish, you're not going to see all of the blemishes that you put on it from really putting this thing to use. Now, one of the things that I absolutely love about the Fugleman is this large step that's knurled, and it has a lot of area, surface area, so even if it's raining or muddy, the moment you put your boot on this, it's not going to come off. Absolutely. Now, we're going to take this thing out and see how it rides. I can't believe the amount of ground clearance that thing has.
Look how wet it's dripping. That's awesome, man.
Now, it does have 2 drains, one on the passenger floor, one on the driver floor. And with the 12.6 inches of ground clearance, we were able to run over some logs, and we were able to take that through some awesome mud trails.
Absolutely.
Thanks for driving, Brandon. I wouldn't have done that, but Brandon, being the expert that he is, he went a little crazy and he took it to the limit. And the Fugleman, it handled it. Let's get back out there. I'm driving. Yep. I'm driving. All right, now we're back in the studio after taking this thing on a trail, and, well, we got it pretty dirty. What'd you think about it, Brandon?
Honestly, it was a blast, and it was probably even more fun seeing Dean's reaction. We first pulled up to a hill that felt like it was about 90 degrees up, and what'd you think?
Man, I was scared, and I looked at Brandon, and I said, what do I do?
Punch it.
So I did. I put my foot to the floor, and that 1,000cc, 105 horsepower engine got us up that hill. Now, the 4-wheel drive system had us sticking to the hill as well. We didn't slide. But once I got to the top, saw a huge log. I looked at Brandon, and he said,
run over it.
Run over it. Now, I did. I didn't go that fast, but I ran over it, and it has 14 inches of ground clearance. It went right over it. But then we came to a huge, muddy, icy puddle. Again, I looked at Brandon.
Go through it.
Go through it. I did, and I went pretty fast, and that's why it looks the way that it does now. We shot mud and water like 8-10 feet up in the air. And there are some things that help protect us with this Segway that not a lot of other UTVs have. Let's talk about that, Brandon.
Yep. I mean, the first thing we'll start with obviously is the doors. Some do not come with any doors, some come with mesh doors, so this did protect us while we were inside the vehicle. Windshield, roof as well, also do not come standard in a lot of UTVs. And then the drain plug in the floor. Get a couple of inches of water, just pull it out, it'll dump all the water out for us, which was fantastic. And then seat-wise, did you feel at any time like you were falling out of it?
So I was held in not only by the seatbelt, but the texture on the seat.
Yep.
Even though we were swimming in mud and water, it was completely safe. We weren't falling around anywhere. And the engine didn't bog down at all when we went through that water. And there's a reason why. We're gonna take a look here.
Yeah, so we have a snorkel down there so it doesn't get bogged down. You can see it right in the middle in the center there. So obviously it's not holding all the water. We drove right through it. Didn't overheat, didn't have any issues at all.
Absolutely, and now that we have this bed up, you can see how much room there is in there to work on it if you ever need to. You need to change the spark plugs, change the oil. Additionally, Brandon pointed out that there's...
Yep, there's one bolt here on your hydraulic, and then you got 2 more bolts on the actual bed that hold it on. So with 3 bolts, you could pull the whole thing off and have, you know, enough room to work anything you need to. But some of the stuff you may not even need to take it off, so.
Absolutely. With this brand new Segway, we really, again, put it through its paces. And one of the things that helped us the most were these tires. So Brandon, what do you think about these wheels and tires?
So the Fugleman has a 14-inch forged aluminum wheel and a 27-inch 6-ply tire. It also has a beadlock inside. So, you know, heaven forbid we're out in the field somewhere, we get a flat tire. I wouldn't be worried about getting back to, back to your home base, which is great.
Absolutely, and it has dual A-arm adjustable hydraulic suspension where you can adjust the preload. However, with the 14 inches of ground clearance, this thing will handle anything you throw at it. And the market for this is a little bit different than I had initially thought.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this vehicle is definitely more of a workhorse. The typical buyer of that, I would say, being someone who has some acreage, possibly a farm. Obviously, you can put about 1,000 pounds in the bed there. You also can tow with it as well. And then it also has that speed. And obviously, Dean, you experienced almost what it felt like almost a sport mode driving it, pretty fast.
Yeah, absolutely. It has something that no other UTV has, and that's a 10.4-inch touchscreen. We're going to take a look at it. All right, now let's talk about some of the tech that's built into the Segway. This 10.4-inch touchscreen, when you first turn it on, there's about a 30-second film showing a Segway going through the mountains. Now that we're past that intro, we can take a look at the audio features. You can get local radio directly on this device. You can also pair your phone and get Bluetooth music. From there, you can pair an external speaker like a Pack Talk if you have one. From there, we can look at the call features. Again, you can take a phone call directly from here and control it. Moving on to the map. This all-terrain navigator helps you track where you are so you can stay in touch while exploring off-road. Now moving on to the live telemetry screen, you can track all different metrics like your power, speed, acceleration, and torque. Another part of the technology package you'll get with this Segway is this amazing gauge cluster. It has all kinds of metrics that you definitely need to take a look at. One of the biggest things that it has, no other UTV on the market has, and that's a miles till empty gauge, so you'll never get stuck out on the trail without gas. Additionally, on this gauge cluster, you'll see what gear you're in, your speed, your RPM, what's going on with the four-wheel drive system, and you also have a miles gauge. That will definitely help out with resale value. Some other features I wanted to touch on were these headrests. Now, we were beating this thing up pretty hard, and our helmets weren't clanging around on this roll cage. They were hitting these awesome headrests. Now, as you can tell, and we've talked about, we got completely covered in water and mud. And something awesome about this Segway is you have a dry box directly between the seats. Now, if you're going in and out of your hotel, in and out of the trailer, whatever, you have the ability to take this with you and have dry items. Again, all of this at a really amazing price point. The Segway also comes with the Smart Moving app. In that app, you have a feature called AirLock. You can Bluetooth lock the vehicle, and you can also get a notification if the vehicle moves when you're not near it. This app also has safety alerts. One of the coolest things is you can have multiple people connect to this Segway, and if it rolls or something happens to this vehicle, somebody else can get notified, so you'll never get stuck out on the trail. You can also view all your live telemetry data directly from that app. Now, you get all these amazing features at a great price point.
The Fugleman UT10X, it retails at $16,799 compared to a lot of its competitors that are $5,000 to $6,000 more. Dean, what was your overall experience with it?
So it sounds like when you're comparing apples to apples, the Segway Fugleman UT10X is the top of the market. Now, personally, I had an amazing time with it. It's packed with features. The fit, finish, overall look, and operation of the vehicle is top of the market. I can confidently say this is the best UTV if you're looking for a machine that can take you from utility to sport riding. Thanks for watching Motorcycle and Powersports News. Be on the lookout for more MPN reviews. Let's go.
Let's get out of here.